Hey everyone, Selma here from Wynn Strength, wrapping up the 12th week of the Average to Savage training program written by Greg Nuckols over at StrongByScience.com. Like usual, I'll leave links below so you can check out both the program and the Strong by Science website. Both amazing resources, highly recommend checking out both of them. So if you haven't been watching so far, this is the hypertrophy version of the template. When you do get the template, you get a couple of additions or versions of it so that you're able to kind of tailor the program to what you want to get out of the program, as it were. So the 12th week, and it really looks like everything's falling into place. My body is kind of getting used to the extra volume finally, but it is, again, 12th week is kind of midway through the second phase of the program, so we're smack bang in the middle of the 21-week program, and I'm seeing the progress kind of fall into place. So all the lifts are progressing right along, or right on track. We are seeing a handful of lifts kind of exceeding the rep targets for this week, which is really awesome to see. It's not something I've had in the previous weeks of the program. So a lot of catching up to do in terms of like conditioning and just general work capacity to keep up with the program, just because I have been training in more strength focused programs for quite a while, and switching over to this hypertrophy style training with a lot more volume, a lot less weight. It's a lot tougher to keep up with that program, that style of training, just because of that sheer amount of volume in there. What has been really cool this phase is that I've actually been able to lose a couple of pounds of weight. We started off this phase at around 208 to 212 pounds. Halfway through, we're currently sitting at around 202 to 206 pounds. So anywhere from like a 2 to 6 pound weight loss depending on the day. So I kind of don't have fixed weights. My weight fluctuates right in that kind of 2 to 4 pounds every day. Depending on, what you eat, how much you drink, that type of stuff the day before. So I like to keep a moving average of my weight, and we're falling right into that weight loss range of around 1 to 2 pounds a week. So that's kind of a nice slow weight process that I like to personally do. I don't like drastic weight cuts. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on this phase of training, and then the next phase is going to continue that slow weight loss phase again, to hopefully cut out a lot of fat and kind of regain as much muscle as possible. So it's kind of awesome to see is that I have lost that weight while still kind of, I think, getting stronger, or at least my body's adapting more to that higher volume. So while I might not be getting stronger per se, my body is able to keep up more with the extra volume workload that the program's currently demanding. So what I'll do is I'll throw over to some training highlights over the course of the week.
So starting here with the squats, I've kind of settled into this like pseudo higher low bar back squat position. I think it kind of just highlights how little it matters. The key technical aspects I've been focusing on are to keep a more vertical back angle and really just maintain the balance on my feet, which means that kind of trying to focus on keeping my knees as forward as possible. I have been working on trying to keep the weight off my toes for the last couple of weeks, which is appearing as a form of overcorrection, as I was starting to lean more into my toes a bit too much previously coming out of the hole. So to overcorrect that, I've been wanting to keep as much weight on my heels as possible. So hopefully with the overcorrection there, the weight is a bit more balanced on my midfoot, but you will see my toes kind of come off of the ground occasionally, as well as my hips shoot up a little bit more faster than the upper back there. Moving on here to the push press, we're still focusing on maintaining that good brace in the core, including the abs and the lower back. I'm not too sure about how much this trends over to the strict press in terms of shoulder tricep strength, mainly because you'll notice all of that momentum is just really coming from that leg drive. The only real transfer over that's going to come through is the fact that I'm holding a heavier weight overhead and we're bracing that core and getting that midsection really strong to handle the explosive dynamic nature of the lift. Now moving on to the strict overhead press, and using the strong sleeves this week, I was able to hit the rep range, whereas last week I wasn't able to hit the rep targets. So you might want to check those elbow sleeves out for yourself with a link down in the description below. But there is an improvement in technique with the head movement for the press. You notice my head is pushing forward a lot sooner than it was last week, and that has been helping with the press, as it's aligning the body and making sure that the force I'm generating is transferring straight up into the barbell from the feet. So there is less of that power leak and more balance there. My head still could shoot forward a little faster, There's probably about 3 to 4 inches where there's a delay in my head shooting forward. And again, just tightening up that technique over time is going to help out a lot. Moving on here to the low incline bench press. This is probably one of the least talked about lifts of my training phase, just because it's nothing exciting to report on other than the slow and steady continual progress, which is a great thing, but it is a boring side of training. No real big jumps, no real big dips in performance, almost a linear performance increase each and every week, which is kind of awesome to see. Nothing really exciting to report there other than, yeah, we're seeing some more progress, which is awesome. Here we're having the deadlift making a bit of a comeback. Again, channeling that performance progress from last week after a few early weeks of less than stellar performance. I'm happy to see that we're actually exceeding rep targets. We exceeded the rep target last week. We're exceeding the rep target this week again, which is a big accomplishment for the progress. The pull itself is feeling a lot smoother, and I think that higher volume has helped me concentrate on technique. I do want to capture this side view. You'll see the barbell plates kind of get knocked forward again a little bit as I push up. So again, something to work on there, where we're just correcting that starting position there. And although that doesn't prevent a lot of the odd rep slipping, probably doing 90% lifts every now and then, I think for the most part we're getting good range of motion there. But when it does come to training with submaximal weights, I like to train in shoes, odd point here, but when it does come to sub 5 reps when we're focusing on heavy weights, I will deadlift barefoot. And again, that goes with when we're deadlifting over that, I will use straps where my grip is going to give up over that 5 reps there. Moving on to some accessory work now. Here we have the single arm T-bar rows. I found this movement over the course of the training program to not really be that fatiguing, while still getting a good pump in the lats, as well as the arms to a slight degree, and I think that's a great thing there. Moving on here to some farmer walks, where we did set a new personal record for a 21-foot back and forth farmer walk. That's 225 pounds per hand. It's kind of awesome. I'm pretty stoked with this result there, slowly climbing up with the progress of farmer carries. To manage stress for the strongman movements, I've chosen to do all of the training at the end of workouts. That way I'm fatigued from the day of training, and that acts as a rate limiter and a stress mitigator.
So that'll wrap up training for week 12. Hopefully you found some useful information there. Might help you with your own decisions about what you want to do with the next phase of training there. This has been Selwyn from Wynn Strength, and remember, a better life through strength. And let's